Here is a triangle. Now we know that the angles in a triangle add up to 180 degrees. So to find this unknown angle here marked x, all we need to do is say that x equals, we start off with our 180 and we take away the other two angles. And that gives us that x equals 30 degrees. You can use your calculator to do that. Now there is a special type of triangle called an isosceles triangle. Now this is an isosceles triangle. It has two sides that have got the same length, and we know that because of these lines on there. So that tells us that this side and this side are the same length. So if you know a triangle is isosceles with two sides the same, you also know that these two, what we call the base angles, are the same. Now it's really important that you know which two angles are the same in an isosceles triangle, because they're not always drawn in that direction. For example, you could have this is very similar to the one above that we've just seen. They're the two sides, those two angles are the same. Now this one, you've got two sides the same, but this time, if you think of those always going up to the top, even if it is at the bottom, it is the other two angles down there that are the same. And here's one on its side, those two sides are the same. This is the one at the top, so it's these two that are the same. Now we can use that fact to help us answer more angle questions. So you'll be given some questions like this. And we need to know, use two different facts. One of the facts is that angles in a triangle add up to 180. And the other one is the fact that these two angles are the same. So the first thing I would do is I would mark off this one is also 80 degrees. Because it's the same as this one, because it's an isosceles triangle. And then we can say that x equals 180, take away 80, take away 80, which means x is 20 degrees. Let's do another one. We know the three angles add up to 180. This time we don't know this angle. Now this angle and this angle are the same. So let's label this one x as well. So this time we know that these two angles add up to whatever is left after we do 180 minus 40. So we get 180 minus 40 is 140, and we know that that is what these two angles add up to. So we know that the 2x equals 140. So each one, we share that by 2, is 70. If we do that again for this question, this one here is drawn in a different way, as in the two sides don't go up to the top. It is these two angles that are the same. They are both 65. So let's write it in. Then to work at x, we can do x is we start with 180, we take the 65 and take the other 65, and we get that x is 30 degrees. And the final question, similar again, but this time it's upside down. So it's these two angles that are the same. So let's mark that x. So we know that we've got 180 minus 30, and that gives us 150. And that is what those two angles add up to. So 2x equals 150. So x must be 150 divided by 2, which is 75 degrees.